She gave everything to the Navy SEALs. They took her medals. They destroyed her record. They stayed silent when she needed them most. She was nobody. Hood up. Disappearing. Broken. Then a plane with 200 strangers started falling from the sky. And the only one who could bring them home was the woman they threw away. Callsign, Iron Phoenix. Turns out, you cannot break what rises. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. Therapy room. You asked me last week why I went up there. To the cockpit. After everything that happened to me. After what they did. I have been thinking about it. I think, I went up there because I needed to know something. I needed to know, if they broke me. The Navy SEALs. I needed to know if they actually broke me. Turns out, 200 strangers answered that question for me. Pause. Do you want me to start from the beginning? Flight 219. 2 hours into the flight. Everything is normal. The cabin is quiet. People are sleeping. Watching movies. Eating small packets of chips. Seat 24A. Window seat. A woman. Hood up. Headphones in. She is not sleeping. She is just staring at the seat in front of her. Not seeing it. Just somewhere else. Her name is Rania Qureshi. She is 32 years old. She has not eaten since yesterday. She has not slept properly in 4 months. She is going to visit her sister. Her sister is the only person who still calls her. The old woman in seat 24B, her name is Zarina, offered Rania food an hour ago. Rania said no. Offered water. Rania said no. So Zarina just sat quietly and ate her own food. At one point, maybe 40 minutes into the flight, Zarina said something small. Not about food. Not about water. She just said, window seats are the best. You can always see where you are going. Rania did not respond. But she heard it. Everything is normal. Except, in the cockpit, something silent is happening. Carbon monoxide. Filling the small space. No alarm. No warning sound. Just silence. The pilots are already going under. Slowly. Quietly. Nobody knows yet. She had been broken by the people she flew for. She was about to find out, breaking and broken are not the same thing. You want to know about the Navy SEALs first. Okay. I flew for them for 6 years. Classified operations. I cannot tell you most of what I did. What I can tell you is this. I never lost a man. Not once. In 6 years. Not one single man. I flew them into the worst places on earth. I flew them back out. Every time. And then, one mission, things went wrong. Not because of me. The intelligence was bad. Everyone knew it. My team knew it. My commanders knew it. But someone had to take the blame. And I was, convenient. Pause. She looks at her hands. I was the only woman in that program. Did I tell you that? The only woman to ever finish the classified air program. My call sign was Iron Phoenix. Because early in training, I crashed once. Not my fault. Equipment failure. But I walked out of the wreckage. Got back in the next day. My commander said, "You burn. You rise. Iron Phoenix." I thought that was a compliment. I thought, that was who I was. Turns out, the same people who gave me that name, were the first ones to throw me away. You know what I did the night before the discharge? I polished my uniform. Every button. Every badge. Every medal. I pressed it myself. Spent 2 hours on it. Because I thought, even if this is the last time, I am going to walk in there looking exactly like what I am. What I earned. What I worked for. What nobody gave me. I walked in there looking perfect. And they stripped it anyway. In front of everyone. In front of the men I flew into fire. I think about that sometimes. The 2 hours I spent polishing. The care I put into it. And I think, I would do it again. Not for them. For me. Because that is the difference between who they are and who I am. I show up. I show up correctly. Even when it costs me everything. She stops. Quiet for a moment. Do you know what is strange? Even now, even after all of it, I am not angry at the institution. Not really. I am angry at the men. The specific men. The ones who looked at the floor. Because an institution is just a building. Just rules on paper. Just people in uniforms. It cannot feel shame. But men can. And they chose not to. 4 months ago. A room on a Navy base. Bright white walls. Hard chairs. The smell of floor cleaner. Rania sits at a table. Alone. 6 men stand along the wall. Her team. The men she flew for 6 years. The men she brought home every single time. A commander stands at the front. He reads the charges. His voice is flat. Official. Like he is reading a shopping list. Rania looks at her team. She looks at each face. One by one. Most of them are looking at the wall. Or the floor. Or somewhere that is not her face. One man, Zaid, is looking at the floor. Specifically at the floor. Like it is the most interesting floor he has ever seen. She stares at him. He does not look up. The commander finishes reading. Someone steps forward. The medals come off her uniform. One by one. She does not make a sound. She will not give them a sound. Not one. You know what the worst part was? It was not the discharge. It was not losing the medals. It was the silence. My team. 6 men. I flew every single one of them into and out of the worst places on earth. Not one of them said a word. Not one. I kept thinking, one of them will say something. One of them will speak up. Nobody did. I walked out of that room alone. And I think that was the thing that really broke something. Not the institution. Not the commanders. The silence from the men I trusted most. She stops. Breathes. I told myself I was fine. For the first week, I really told myself I was fine. Then I stopped eating properly. Then I stopped sleeping. Then I stopped, a lot of things. My sister kept calling. She did not ask big questions. She just said, come. Just come and sit in my house. Let me feed you. You don't have to talk. So I booked flight 219. I put on my hoodie. I put my hood up. I put my headphones in. I was going to disappear for a while. The plane had other ideas. She had flown men into the darkest places on earth. None of them spoke for her. Now she was sitting in 24A, hood up, trying to disappear. 200 people were about to make that impossible. I noticed something before Noor did. I felt the plane drift. In the seat. Under me. When autopilot is off, and nobody's hands are on the controls, the aircraft moves differently. Very small. But pilots feel it. Even ex-pilots. Even broken ones. I took my headphones out. I told myself, it's nothing. Turbulence. It's not your job anymore. You don't have a job anymore. Put your headphones back in. Then the cabin door banged open. And Noor came running. The flight attendant's name is Noor. She is 27 years old. This is her second year flying. She has never had a real emergency before. She runs into the cabin. Her face is completely white. Like all the blood left it at once. She stops in the middle of the aisle. Does anyone here know how to fly a plane? Please. Anyone? Does anyone know how to fly? Silence. The whole cabin goes completely silent. A man in business class, expensive suit, laptop open. What is happening? What is going on? Noor tries to hold herself together. Her voice is shaking. Both pilots are. I need a pilot. Please. If anyone here has flying experience, please stand up. Please. More silence. Nobody moves. Everyone is frozen. Looking at each other. Waiting for someone else to do something. Row 24. Rania. Hood still up. Headphones around her neck now. She has not moved. The old woman next to her, Zarina, is watching Noor. Then she looks at Rania. She does not say anything. She reaches over, slowly, and puts her hand on Rania's arm. Just, her hand. There. Warm. Steady. Rania looks down at it. Then she looks at Noor. Then she looks at the 200 people, frozen in their seats, staring, waiting, afraid. You are going to ask me what made me stand up. It was the old woman. Zarina. She did not say anything to me. She did not say, go up there, or, you can do it. She just put her hand on my arm. And I know this sounds strange, but it felt like she already knew. Like she could see something in me that I had stopped seeing in myself. Her hand said, I see you. Whatever happened to you, I see you. And these people need you. I don't know how a hand on an arm can say all of that. But it did. And I stood up. Rania stands. Hood still up. She walks to Noor. Slowly. Calmly. Noor, desperate, shaking, can you fly? Do you know how to fly a plane? Rania reaches up. Pulls her hood down. Looks Noor directly in the eyes. Yes. One word. Flat. Certain. Something in Noor's face changes. The panic does not disappear, but underneath it, something steadies. Okay. Okay. Come with me. The door opens. Both pilots are unconscious in their seats. Slumped forward. Still breathing. The carbon monoxide has been filling the cockpit for 9 minutes. No alarm went off. It was silent the whole time. The air is already starting to clear, the door opening helps, but the pilots will not be awake for a long time. Rania steps in. Sits down. Straps in. 6 seconds. She scans every instrument. Every dial. Every number. The autopilot is off. The plane has been drifting. Current heading, wrong. Mountain range, 14 minutes ahead. Fuel, 51 minutes remaining. She opens the cockpit window a small amount. Fresh air comes in. Then she picks up the radio. Her voice, absolutely calm. Karachi Center, this is Flight 219. Carbon monoxide incident. Full crew is down. I have the aircraft. Mountain terrain, 14 minutes on current heading. Fuel is 51 minutes. I need immediate vectors. Talk to me. The moment I picked up that radio, something happened. I cannot explain it properly. It was like, everything from the last 4 months, the discharge, the medals, the silence from my team, all of it, just, got very quiet. Not gone. Still there. But quiet. Like it moved to the back of a room. Like my hands knew something my brain was still arguing about. My hands knew, this is what we do. This is who we are. Pick up the radio. Fly the plane. Bring them home. A voice comes back on the radio. Karachi Center. ATC Officer Waqar. Flight 219, identify yourself. Who am I speaking to? Rania, passenger. Former military pilot. I know what I am doing. Give me the vectors. Waqar, carefully, former military. Which branch? Rania, Navy. Does that matter right now? Waqar, Callsign, for coordination purposes. A pause. Longer than it needs to be. Then, Rania. Iron Phoenix. Saying that Callsign. After 4 months, after what they did. You want to know how it felt? Like picking up something they threw on the ground, and realizing. It still works. They took my record. They took my medals. They stripped my rank. But the call sign, the thing behind the call sign, what it meant. They could not take that. You cannot discharge what your hands remember. What your body knows. Iron Phoenix. I said it. And it was still mine. They took her medals. They took her record. They took her team. They forgot to take what her hands knew. You cannot discharge muscle memory. 2F/A-18 jets scramble from the base. They come up fast. One on each wing of the plane. Military escort. The lead jet checks in. Voice, professional. Military flat. Flight 219, this is Anvil Flight. We have you visual. State your situation and intentions. Rania gives the full report. Calm. Clean. Like a military briefing. Pilots down. Terrain cleared. Heading north. Runway request. Anvil 1, copy. Good work 219. What is your flight background? Rania, Navy SEAL Air Support Program. 6 years. Classified operations. A pause. Small. But there. Anvil 1, call sign. Another pause. Longer. Rania, Iron Phoenix. Silence, 9 seconds. I knew. Immediately. By the silence. 9 seconds. I counted. 9 seconds on a military frequency, that is a very long time. Nobody goes silent for 9 seconds on a live channel. Not for no reason. And then he said my call sign back. Just repeated it. Quietly. And his voice. I knew that voice. You always remember the voice of someone who looked at the floor when you needed them to look at you. Zaid. Commander Zaid Mirza. Anvil 1. The one who stared at the floor while they took my medals. He was on my wing. A long beat. Then. Iron Phoenix. This is Anvil 1. This is, Zaid. Silence from Rania. 4 seconds. 5. 200 people behind a thin door. Mountains, 9 minutes away on old heading. Now on correct heading. But still. And the man who said nothing, on her frequency. Right now. Dr. Ahmed, you want to know what I felt? I felt everything. All at once. In about 2 seconds. Rage. Real rage, the kind I had been holding down for 4 months. Grief. Because I missed my team. Even after everything. I still missed them. And something else, something that was not quite forgiveness, but it was near it. Standing right next to it. And then, 200 people. 200 people behind that door. Needing me. So I made a choice. I put the feelings in a box. I have been doing that my whole career. You put things in a box. You close the lid. You fly the plane. You open the box later. I was not going to open that box at 38,000 feet. That day. Rania, flat, precise, professional. Zaid. I need 3 things. Storm data. Terrain clearance. Runway options. In that order. We can talk after I land this plane. Can you do your job right now? Silence. 4 seconds. Then, Anvil 1's voice. It breaks. Just once. Just a small crack. Then it goes steel. Storm is clear to your north. Turn heading 340. Runway 28 left at Karachi, emergency services are already rolling. Foam trucks. Medical. All of it. Iron Phoenix. I am on your wing. I should have been on your side 4 months ago. I was not. I am on your wing now. I am not leaving it. He said that. On a live military frequency. With his commanding officers listening. Probably his whole chain of command. He said that out loud. I did not respond. I had a plane to fly. That was the truth, I genuinely had a plane to fly, but also, I did not have words. I heard him though. I heard every single word. And I filed it. Put it in the box. Closed the lid. But I heard it. Wakar's voice comes back. And now, it is different. It is not ATC professional anymore. It is not the standard flat voice of a controller. It is just a man. Talking to another person. Iron Phoenix. I was there. 4 months ago. On the base. I was the ATC officer that day. I was in that room. I saw everything. I should have said something. I said nothing. I am sorry. I cannot change that. But tonight, I am going to make sure you get home. That is all I can give you. But I am going to give you that. 2 men. Same night. Both sorry. Wakar. Then Zaid. Both of them saying the thing they should have said 4 months ago. I did not have time to process it up there. I could not stop and feel it. There was a plane to fly. But I want to say something about it, here, now, because I have been thinking about it every day since. Late apologies are strange things. They do not fix what happened. They do not erase the silence. They do not give me back the 4 months I spent falling apart in my apartment. But they are not nothing. They are, something. I am still deciding what. The men who broke her silence, were the same men who kept their silence when she needed them. 4 months too late. But not, entirely, too late. Clear of the mountain terrain now. Heading north. Around the bad weather. The plane is steady. The instruments are talking. Everything is reading normal. Noor stands behind Rania in the doorway. Quiet. Watching. Then, quietly, can I do anything? Is there anything I can do for you up here? Rania, eyes still on the instruments, yes. Go back to the cabin. Get on the intercom. Tell them we have a pilot. Tell them we are going to land safely. That is all. Do not say anything else. Keep it simple. Keep it calm. Noor, what do I tell them if they ask who you are? What should I say? Rania, looking straight ahead, out the front window, into the dark sky. Tell them, someone who needed to be needed. I said that. I do not know where it came from. But it was true. For 4 months, I had been, nothing. Surplus. Unnecessary. Discarded. Like a tool that gets put in a drawer because it is broken, or because someone decided it is broken, and the drawer closes, and nobody opens it again. And up there, for the first time in 4 months, I was the only one who could do what needed doing. 200 people needed me to be exactly who I was. Not who they said I was. Not the woman they discharged. Not the file they closed. Who I actually was. Iron Phoenix. The thing that burns. The thing that rises. It was still there. Under everything. Under 4 months of hood-up headphones in. Still there. Still working. I was rising. Nor walks back into the cabin. 200 people. Looking at her. Waiting. Some of them crying. Some holding hands. Children pressed into parents. A young man holding a rosary. An old man with his eyes closed. Nor picks up the intercom handset. She breathes. And then, steadier than she has been all night. Ladies and gentlemen. We have a pilot. She is trained. She is experienced. She has the aircraft under full control. We are going to land safely. Please stay in your seats. Please trust her. I do. She added that last part herself. I did not tell her to say that. I do. This 27-year-old girl, who was shaking when she ran into the cabin, who looked like she was going to break in half. She got back on that intercom and she said, I do, to 200 terrified people. I heard it through the door. And I want to tell you something, as someone who has been in a lot of very tight spots, in very small aircraft, in very dark places. That sentence, those 2 words from that girl, did something to me. I think that was the moment I truly believed we were going to be okay. Not because of the instruments. Not because of the runway. Not because of Zaid on my wing. Because of that 27-year-old girl who put herself back together, and stood up, and told 200 strangers to trust. I saw myself in that. 4 months ago, and 3 hours ago, and right now. You put yourself back together. And you stand up. Final approach. Runway 28 left. The lights are on. The foam trucks are in position. Emergency services rolling. 500 feet. Then, a warning sound. Hydraulic system. Partial brake failure. The brakes are not fully working. Rania checks the runway length. Calculates. Fast. She does the math in 3 seconds. The kind of math you do 100 times in training and hope you never need for real. Anvil 1, immediate, Flight 219, hydraulic warning on our scope, do you need to go around? Say the word. Rania, negative. Runway length is enough. I can stop her. Stay with me. Anvil 1, no hesitation, on your wing. Wakar, from Karachi Center, 219, foam trucks are on the runway surface. Full coverage. You are covered. You are not alone on this. Rania, copy. Going in. The hydraulic warning. I will not lie to you. That scared me. Not the flying part, by that point the flying was almost routine. I know how to fly a plane. That part my body handles. The stopping part scared me. Partial brakes. Full load. Foam runway. I ran the numbers. I had the runway length. The math worked. But, math and reality are different things sometimes. And I had Zaid on my wing. Which, I did not expect to matter to me. After everything, after the floor, after the silence, I did not think that would matter. But it did. Having someone on your wing, even someone who let you down before. It still matters. I am still thinking about what that means. About people. About chances. About whether some things can be repaired. Not forgotten. Not erased. Repaired. The runway. Long lit up. Foam on the surface. Waiting. Anvil 1 peels off, one last pass, wings tilting. Goodbye. Good luck. 200 feet. 100 feet. 50 feet. Music CUE, complete silence. The wheels touch. Rania works the partial brakes. Perfectly. Pressing. Releasing. Pressing. Feeling it. Slowing, slowing, slowing. The runway end coming closer. Closer. Slowing. Stops. 180 feet from the end. Complete silence, 5 full seconds. Then, 200 people. Not a scream. Not a word. Just, sound. Like the whole cabin exhales at once and becomes something else. Crying. Clapping. Voices saying things in every language. A child laughing. Someone saying a prayer out loud. Nor, in the doorway, hand over her mouth. When the wheels touched. I put my head down on the yoke. Just for 1 second. Not to cry. Not to break down. Just to rest. 1 second of rest. Then I picked up the radio. Gave my full landing report. Status of pilots. Runway position. Fuel remaining. All of it. Because that is what you do. You land the plane. You give the report. You do the job. And then, at the very end, I said something I had not planned to say. Rania picks up the radio. Clear voice. Steady. Karachi Center. This is Flight 219. On the ground. Runway 28 left. 200 souls on board. All safe. Both flight crew alive and receiving medical. Iron Phoenix. Signing off. Signing off. I said signing off. I do not know why I said that. I think, in that moment, I thought it was the last time. I thought, I will do this one thing. This one good thing. And then I will go back to being nobody. Back to the hoodie. Back to the headphones. Back to the drawer. I was wrong about that. I was very wrong. Rania is the last one off the plane. She walks down the stairs slowly. Hood back up. Everyone else has already gone, running to family, to emergency staff, to the terminal. At the bottom of the stairs, Zarina. The old woman. Seat 24B. Standing there. Waiting. Rania stops. Looks at her. Zarina speaks first. You were going to say no. I could feel it, sitting next to you. When Noor came running, I felt you pull inward. You were going to keep your hood up and let someone else handle it. Rania, quiet, there was no one else. Zarina, I know. That is why I put my hand on your arm. Not to push you. Not to force you. To remind you. To remind you that you were still there. That whatever they did to you, they did not take you. You were still sitting in that seat. Still breathing. Still feeling the plane drift when everyone else felt nothing. They did not take that. I wanted you to feel that someone could see it. Rania, very quietly, how did you know? How did you know any of that? Zarina, simply, because broken people do not sit by windows. Broken people sit in the middle. Away from everything. Away from the view. You had the window seat. You were still looking out. You had just forgotten that you were looking. Rania looks at her. Does not speak. But something in her face changes. He lands. Walks across the tarmac in full flight gear. Helmet under his arm. Stops 10 feet from her. They look at each other. A long time. No words. Just, looking. Then he speaks. I am going to file an official statement. About the mission. About what really happened. About what the intelligence failure was. About who was really responsible. I do not know if it changes anything. I do not know if they will listen. But I am going to file it. With my name on it. Officially. On the record. Rania, why now? Why not 4 months ago? Why not when it mattered? Zaid, he does not look away. Because I watched you tonight. I watched you land that plane. On partial hydraulics. With 200 people. After everything we did to you. And you still did the job. Perfectly. Completely. Without hesitation. I looked at the floor when I should have looked at you. The least I can do now, is finally do my job. The way you always did yours. Rania looks at him. She does not say it is okay. It is not okay. What happened is not okay. Will not suddenly become okay because of one conversation on a dark tarmac. But. She nods. Once. Small. And that, for now, is enough. That day, gate, Noor finds her near the terminal gate. Still in her uniform. Eyes still red. But standing straight. I wanted to find you before you left. On the intercom, when I said I trusted you, I want you to know that was not something I said to calm people down. I meant it. I always mean what I say. Rania looks at this young woman. 27 years old. First real emergency. Fell apart. Then put herself back together in the middle of a crisis in front of 200 people. You did well tonight, Noor. Better than you know. Noor, eyes filling, I learned from you. Rania, no. You learned from yourself. I just gave you something to aim at. The standing up part, the pulling yourself together part, the I do part. That was all you. That was always in you. Tonight just asked for it. You asked me, at the start of today, whether I think I am still broken. I have been sitting with that question the whole session. Here is what I think. The Navy SEALs broke something. That part is true. They broke my faith. In the institution. In the chain of command. In the idea that if you do your job perfectly, if you never lose a man, if you give everything, that you are safe. I believed that. I believed it completely. And it was wrong. That faith, I do not know if it comes back. I am not sure I want it to come back. Maybe that kind of blind faith was never healthy. But the other part. The part that felt the plane drift when everyone else felt nothing. The part that stood up in 24A. The part that walked to the cockpit. The part that said Iron Phoenix on a live radio after 4 months of silence. The part that landed 200 strangers home on partial breaks in the dark. They did not break that. They tried. They failed. Iron Phoenix. You burn. You rise. Turns out, that is not just a call sign. That is not something they gave me. It is not something they can take. That is just, who I am. Long pause. She looks at the window. Then back. Same time next week. The Navy SEALs broke her faith. Her record. Her medals. Her team. They could not break what was underneath all of that. The thing that stood up in seat 24A. The thing that walked to the cockpit. The thing that landed 200 strangers home. Iron Phoenix. You cannot break what rises, every single time, you try.